Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Thursday, June 11th. Guys, what do I say? What do I say? What can I say? You already know what the agenda is. You already know what the agenda is today. We are going to be discussing, and this game only, we're going to be discussing Game 4 of the NBA Finals between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. I don't know what I can say. Nothing, no part of me, like as good as I credit myself at podcasting, as good as I credit myself for speaking and yapping, right? No amount of yapping about this game could describe this game to just any average Joe. If you did not see this game live and you claim to be a basketball fan, just know you missed the greatest comeback in NBA history. I'm not going to say playoff history because while it's true, it's technically the greatest playoff comeback in NBA history. I'm not calling it that. Out of all the comebacks in all of NBA history, none have been on the bigger stage. Madison Square Garden, Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The New York Knicks. Let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it. Forget this intro. Podcast listeners, leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, YouTube, drop some likes, follow, subscribe. The New York Knicks. Let's just get right. Let's get into it. Come back from 29 down and win the game. Final score 107-106. They led 2% of the time in this game. And it was in the only time that it mattered. The New York Knicks win game 4 and go up 3-1. Now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I forget the exact stat, but I believe teams that go down 3-1 in the NBA Finals are 1-37. You all know the one that I'm referring to, the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016 coming back against the Golden State Warriors. How can I describe this game? And let me just set the stage for y'all. We were hosting a watch party in my Discord server. I was watching with a lot of members of my community. A lot. Greatest watch party ever. And at halftime, they wanted to watch me play NBA The Run. So I played one tournament of NBA The Run, won that game, closed out of the game, went back onto the actual game, the Knicks versus Spurs, and we see that they're up by 29. Wemby's called for a flagrant, blah, 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 blue, okay? And everybody's saying, go back, go play NBA The Run. We don't want to watch this garbage. Go play NBA The Run. And I said, no, guys, we got to watch this. We got to watch this game. The guys are bitching and moaning. Oh, no, let's just watch you play NBA The Run. I was like, no, we're watching this game. It's the NBA Finals. We're watching this game. And thank God I listened to my gut, because what we witnessed last night, in the midst of the Knicks comeback, in the midst of the Spurs collapse, so many different things was happening, right? On one end, you had the Spurs spamming threes just as they did in the first half, except this time they only went 3 for 20 in the second half from three. That's one problem. They went 3 for 20 in the second half from three-point land when they hit 13 threes in the first half. Okay? The San Antonio Spurs proceeded to only score 30 points in the entire second half. 30 points. Bro, they scored 73. Maybe more? 70. Is that 75? 40 plus 35 is 75. They scored 76 points in the first half. Ladies and gentlemen, they scored 76 points in the first half and then only managed to score 30 in the second half. Okay? They went 3 for 20 from three. They went 8 for 39 from the field in the second half. Knicks are on their comeback, right? And for maybe, I'll say 10 minutes, the Knicks kept getting it down 15. And then the lead would inflate back up to 22. Down 15, lead would inflate back to 20. Down 15, lead would go up to 18. Down 15. And then they got it to 12. And then they got it to 9. And then 7. And then 4. And then 1. They get the steal. They get the steal. Josh Hart, which could have been one of the worst moments in finals history. Instead, we'll save that for a little bit later. Josh Hart runs down the court, open fast break, nobody near him, goes up for a dunk, layup, weird looking one, and misses the layup. Spurs ball. Wemby misses 2 free throws. In the clutch, minute and 20 left. Wemby misses 2 free throws. And then in the most crucial play of the game, Knicks need a bucket. They're down 1 point. They need a bucket. Jalen Brunson has the ball. Jalen Brunson dribbles, dances, as Clyde Frazier says, dancing and prancing. Goes up for a floater over Wembanyama, misses, gets blocked from Victor. Ball gets loose. De'Aaron Fox and OG Anunoby are chasing the ball down the court. They pass half court. They get to 3/4 of the court. De'Aaron Fox retrieves the ball. And then, you probably, if you didn't watch this game, you have no idea what happened. Well, let me go ahead and show you one play from the 2005 NBA Finals, and y'all can let me know what you believe happened. This is the same exact scenario. Manu Ginobili gets the ball. He has an open lane, and what does he do? Exactly what De'Aaron Fox did, right? Wrong. Manu Ginobili dribbles the ball, burns the clock, gets fouled just as it was drawn up. Instead, De'Aaron Fox gets the ball, goes up for a layup, gets blocked by OG Anunoby. Ladies and gentlemen, what we watched last night, I'm not even done yet. The Knicks call a timeout. They inbound the ball. Jalen Brunson dancing and prancing to the three-point line, pulls. Honestly, wild shot. Wild shot. Podcast listeners, I'm trying to describe it to you guys as much as possible so you guys understand the full story. So this is for you guys. Numbers, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Jalen Brunson pulls up for a deep bomb over Fox and Wemby. And somewhere in the wing, you see one of the Wingstop members see that ball in the air, chasing that ball in the air, still chasing that ball in the air. Jalen Brunson barely shorts it, as much as it would have been awesome to hear a triple bang, the first ever triple bang in NBA history. The ball knocks off the front of the rim, and in the midst of all the black jerseys, OG Anunoby jumps up, gets a hand off of the ball, and tips it in. Arena goes crazy. The roof is about to collapse. OG Anunoby, with arguably one of the greatest plays in NBA Finals history. And last night, watching this game, I truly felt like I had an out-of-body experience. An out-of-body experience to get this tip after getting a game-saving block on the other end, and to just do this ever so nonchalantly. I have to give OG his flowers. But before I do that, I have to give flowers to a man that was basically irrelevant in this game. He was irrelevant. And I told you guys, I've been saying it all series, whoever wins the Karl-Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama matchup wins this series. And last night, the refs, the Spurs, they got the best of Karl-Anthony Towns. But unfortunately for them, Karl-Anthony Towns does not give up. What a lot of people aren't talking about, and I haven't seen many people talk about it, is that Karl-Anthony Towns on the final inbound play tipped the inbound pass. I think we can all agree. Stephon Castle was wide open for that alley-oop. This game could have ended. There was 1.5 seconds left on the clock. Dylan Harper inbounds the ball, and Karl Anthony Towns jumps and tips the pass, thus making the pass short, thus making Stephon Castle have to run away from the alley-oop, catch the ball, and there's no shot that goes up. Karl Anthony Towns, you deserve this. You deserve this praise right here, to be able to tip the ball in a moment like this in the game and to disrupt what could have been the game-ending shot, because Stephon Castle was open. Stephon Castle was wide open, y'all. Wide open. Karl Anthony Towns manages to get his fingies, just the tips, on Dylan Harper's inbound pass, and the game is over. That was an easy alley-oop, y'all. That was a bad defensive play from the Knicks, but it doesn't matter. They come back. They led the game for a minute less, and the game is over. And the game is over. Ladies and gentlemen, last night, I got to repeat myself one more time for everybody. If you missed this game, I feel bad for you. This is right there. This is probably higher. No, I think as far as craziness, like when I've truly lost my mind, that Indiana series, that Nesmith 3, Halliburton 3, Nesmith 3, Nesmith 3, Nesmith 3. That is like one of my favorite comebacks in NBA history. But this one, man, down 28. They're calling it the greatest and biggest comeback in playoff history. I'm not doing that. This is not the greatest playoff comeback in NBA history. It's not. This is the greatest comeback in NBA history. No comeback this size have ever happened in the NBA playoffs. And guess what? None this size have come in the NBA Finals on the biggest stage in basketball, down 29 points. Biggest comeback in playoff history? I don't think so. This is the greatest comeback in NBA history. The greatest in NBA history. Congratulations to Cavs fans. Y'all get a win out of this. You now don't have the most embarrassing choke of the playoffs. So shout out Cavs fans, bro. We up. Shout out Cavs fans. Y'all up. What do I even talk about now? Do I talk about OG? Do I talk about Jalen Brunson? Do I talk about Dylan Harper? No, I can't talk about Dylan Harper. They lost. Let's go ahead and talk about one player that deserves his flowers more than anybody. That's OG Anunoby. About to be a 2-time champion. OG Anunoby over his last 20 games. So this counts the final 4 games of the regular season. Over his last 20 games. 20 games, Jet. Do y'all realize he's averaging 20 points per game? But not just that. He is averaging 73% true shooting. Ladies and gentlemen, in his last 20 games, he's averaging 20 points and he's averaging 73% true shooting. Do you guys understand? That is the highest stretch. Highest stretch for the highest points per game. At the best true shooting percentage since this stat has been tracked. Let me say that one more time. OG Anunoby over the last 20 games is averaging 20 points per game and 73.4% true shooting. That right there is the highest it has ever been in any stretch since this metric was added into basketball. What we're seeing isn't a number 2. What we're seeing isn't a number 3. What we're seeing is a man who gets 0 plays called for him. Averaged 20 points per game on 73% shooting. True shooting. Now, instant, what's the word? Instant, reactivity, right? Most people would say OG Anunoby is the finals MVP. And, going into this year, I remember saying, and this was my hot take when I did the hot take episode. I said, my hot take, and Knicks fans, you guys remember, I said my hot take is that OG Anunoby could win the conference finals MVP. I said conference finals MVP. I said that. And then you guys said, no shot. There's no way. And then I said, I'll one up you. I said, and I quote, my hot take in this NBA season is that OG Anunoby will win Finals MVP. I said that 7 months ago in my hot take episode. You guys can go back and find it. But I said that 7 months ago that was my hot take because I knew the Knicks were making the NBA Finals. I picked them to go into the NBA Finals. So the fact that they're here doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, I will go so far as to say, unless, like, OG's got to lead them in scoring again in Game 5 and they got to win, I think the shorter the series, the higher the chances of OG winning this. But if this series goes to 7, the less odds he has at winning this. Can I remind you guys of a playoff series, of a final series? It was the Lakers versus Heat in the bubble. I know we don't like talking about the bubble, but if you guys remember, when this series, like if it ended in 4, Anthony Davis wins the Finals MVP. But because it went to 6, they gave it to LeBron. So the best case that OG can win this Finals MVP would if it ends in 5 and OG leads the game like in scoring or like does really, really well on both ends. That's how I believe he can win. If this goes 7, which I don't believe it will be, Jalen Brunson will probably get it because he will have the longest like stretch of, good basketball as in a sense. He hasn't played good basketball in this playoffs in this finals. Now the question, Anthony asked, would you give it to OG today? I still think it's Brunson based on the stats and the game 1 comeback plus yesterday. I'm giving it to Brunson. I'm giving it to Brunson. If it were today, I'm giving it to Brunson. I am. He demands the most attention. He's shooting horrible splits, shooting horrible percentages. But yeah, I mean, Brunson got you there. You know what I'm saying? Brunson in the second quarter, I believe, had 15 points. Yeah, he had 15 points in the second quarter. OG had 11 in the third. And then it was an all-around team effort. Now that I've given OG his praise, I want to talk about Mike Brown's praise. And this is the main reason why I've been gassing up Mike Brown all season long. I'm going to go ahead and end the TikTok. If you guys want more of the show, come through to the Twitch stream, ladies and gentlemen. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Okay, if you want more show, look right here. Look at the name, Jay-Z Uncut. The link is in my bio, or just go to the Purple app and look up Jay-Z Uncut, where the show is still continuing. I have so much more to talk about. We are live on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ending the TikTok just to bait them into coming here because I got pushed out of the algorithm. So I'm just going to reboot that, get some people to come here. So anyways, I got to talk about Mike Brown, man. I've been praising him all season long. And I've been telling my Knicks fans, be patient with him. Be patient with big Mike Brown. Mike Brown is an old-fashioned coach. And what I love about him is that he gives you a chance to prove why you should be playing basketball. And that's something that a coach needs to be able to do, not just in the regular season, but also in the playoffs. And the fact that he's trying this out in the finals speaks volumes. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks won a basketball game where Jeremy Sohan played 3 minutes, where Ariel Huckporty played 3 minutes, where Jordan Clarkson played 5 minutes, where Dookie McBride played 7 minutes, and Jose Alvarado played 16 minutes. Mike Brown is arguably my favorite head coach in the NBA. Not only does he believe in his players, but he changes the rotation so much to keep the other coach guessing. And Knicks fans, I'm taking credit. I'm taking credit. Oh, by the way, is that Raz in my Twitch stream the same Raz that was in our Discord server that called Mark the F word? Yeah, see you, buddy. Let's talk about Mike Brown. What he did in this game. Well, I can't think of another Raz that would say that type of shit. So you use your thought process, Anthony. That's the same Raz that called Mark the F word yesterday, Brody. Do you know another guy named Raz that's rooting for the Knicks, bro? Nah, he's out of here. Get him out. Get him out. Called him the full F word too. Called him the full one, not the abbreviation 3-letter word. He called him the full one, bro. The full one. So anyway, No, I mean he's in here, so yeah, we're not allowing him in here. Yeah, no, we're not allowing him in here, bro. There's just no way. There's no way. Sebi, thank you for the follow, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the follow. All right, let's continue, bro. Let's continue. So Mike Brown, what he does is he gives people to earn their spot, right? And last night, Jose Alvarado, and I said Landry Shamet is not going to do well in this series. The Spurs have really good guards to defend him, and like if he has somebody to move him off his spot, Landry Shamet's not that great of a player. Landry Shamet can dominate a team that has small wings, and you saw that against the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? But in this series, and you guys remember yesterday, I talked about this. Please tell me y'all remember. I said, and I quote, you need another ball handler next to Brunson. For the first 3 quarters, at least, allow Mikal Bridges or somebody else like Jose to bring the ball up the court. At some point in the first 3 quarters, you cannot have Jalen Brunson bring the ball down the court every single play, having press defense every single play, being defended 95 feet up the floor. You need somebody to relieve him of his ball handling duties. And guess what happened? Jose Alvarado comes in, sparks the defensive energy in the second half. He played 16 minutes. 16. He played 13 of them in the second half. They benched Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges only played 9 minutes in the second half, 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. And Jose Alvarado comes in, 3 ball, bang. A 2, bang. Another 3 ball, bang. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the only plus player off the bench last night for the Knicks. He was the only positive player. He was the only one. Jose Alvarado really did it. He really did it. And I love to see it. And I think the most important part about Jose Alvarado is the head coach he's got there in New York. I just need some credit, y'all. I just need some credit. Because all freaking year, and I'm going to call you guys out by name. Based, I'm talking to you. Lambie, I'm talking to you. Anthony Wanthony, I'm talking about you, bro. All you Knicks fans, all of y'all, talking down on Mike Brown, saying I miss Tibbs, bring Tibbs back, get this guy off the bench. I told y'all, and I kept telling y'all, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. And then after all of this, I told you guys, point blank period, 6 months ago, after JB Dickerstaff took out Asar Thompson at the final 5 minutes of a game again in the regular season. I wish I had Mike Brown as my coach. I told y'all that. And you guys know me. I'm a guy that admits I'm wrong a lot. In fact, I was wrong about the winner of game 1. I was wrong about the winner in game 2. I was wrong about the winner in game 4. Hell, I've guessed the Spurs to win every single game. I said they'd win game 1. They lost game 1. I was like, well, now they have to win game 2. They lost game 2. And then I said the Spurs will win game 3 because they had to win game 3. So I was right about that. And then I said the Spurs will win game 4 because they have to. And they lost. So I've been wrong time and time again. Has anybody proved me wrong in this series? Is there a one player in this series that have proved me wrong? Mikal Bridges has proved me wrong. I thought Mikal would be better. He's proved me wrong. He's not been good. I was wrong on Mikal. I was wrong. I'll take the L there. I'll take the L there. But as far as what I said about Mike Brown 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I'm so happy I stuck through it. Mike Brown's such a great coach. He gets the ball moving. He gets people to believe in the team. He makes players feel accountable. And you know what's so beautiful about Knicks basketball right now, bro? And I'm sorry to the Spurs fans out there. I'll talk about y'all in a second. You know what the most important thing about all of this, ladies and gentlemen? It's the damn bench. It's the bench. And no, I'm not talking about how Jose was the only positive player off the bench. I'm talking about one thing here. Watch that bench every bucket the Knicks score. Watch it. You guys were talking about Jeremy Sohan and how we needed a dog. First of all, that dude's not good at basketball. And I don't say that lightly. It's very rare when I say somebody's not good at basketball. Jeremy Sohan is not good at basketball. One guy I'm giving credit to changing the culture around this locker room. Obviously, Mike Brown deserves that. I'm talking about player. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving all my flowers that I got to Jose Alvarado. He may not have had any impact at all in the last 3 series. I want you guys to go back and watch this game. They were down 29 points. Every bucket they scored, every stop they had, every free throw they made, he was the first one off the bench screaming. First one. Every time Wemby gets a little frisky on defense, every time Castle gets a little pissed, who's the first player to get in that guy's face? The Knicks needed a dog. They got one. Shout out GTA 5. Shout out Jose Alvarado. You guys know the kind of basketball that I love. I love the dirty dogs. And what makes those dirty dogs even better is the fact that they can back up their shit talk. And last night, Jose Alvarado, 3 for 3, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, plus 11 on the court, only 1 turnover. He had 5 fouls. Ladies and gentlemen, he used 5 of his fouls. If that ain't called a dog, I don't know what is a dog. I have no idea. Any guy would love to have Jose Alvarado on their basketball team, whether he's just an energy guy, whether he's a backup PG, whether he's just a spark plug. That kind of energy, you can't just buy. And guess what? They bought him for cheap. He had 5 fouls in 9 minutes. Shout out Jose Alvarado, man. He deserves it. And you know what? Shout out my boy Liam, my single Pelicans fan in the Twitch chat. This you deserve a lot of credit. Your franchise deserves a lot of credit for this. Your franchise deserves a lot of credit. Now, I've been glazing the Knicks, as TikTok says it, for the last 30 minutes. Last 30 minutes. Spurs fans, are you guys ready? Comebacks are not a one-sided thing. Doesn't matter how good a team is offensively. Comebacks can only happen. Shout out playoff Porty. He was a demon in his minutes as well. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 1 block, and 1 foul. Shout out playoff Porty. Comebacks are not completed by one side of the court. Comebacks are completed by an absolute collapse, a monumental crumble, an absolute embarrassment. That's what it takes. When you think comebacks, what do you think of? I think of the Indiana Pacers comeback against the Knicks last year in the playoffs. I think of the comeback the Warriors had on the Rockets when the Rockets missed 27 threes in a row. I think of Bones Highland on the Clippers. I think of Josh Smith on the Rockets coming back and beating Lob City. Those are the great comebacks that I think of. Of course, the LeBron Cavs comeback, of course. The San Antonio Spurs were up 29 points with 7.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And they proceeded to go 8 for 39 in the second half. They proceeded to go 3 for 20 from 3 in the second half. They proceeded to spam 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 and hit nothing. Again, they shot 8 for 39 in the second half. 3 for 20 from 3. I know the TikTok is getting really populated right now. I just gassed up the Knicks for 30 minutes, y'all. So now I'm talking about the Spurs collapse. Okay, if you guys want to hear me glazing the Knicks for 30 minutes, podcast gets posted on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and Twitch. Jay-Z Courtside on all those platforms. What we saw in the San Antonio Spurs, it can't be pinned on one detail. It can't. It can't. There's no way you can pin this on one guy, on one play, on anything. Okay? It was an entire collapse of a team. Dream, thank you for the 2-month Prime Gaming sub on Twitch. I appreciate you very much. J-Dog and Sebi, thank you guys for the follows on Twitch as well. I appreciate the follows on Twitch, guys. I can't blame one player, one thing, okay? Obviously, Fox is going to get a lot of the blame. Wemby's going to get a lot of the blame. But at the end of the day, y'all, I got to pin it on everybody. It's Mitch Johnson's fault. It's everybody's fault. It's everybody on that Spurs team's fault. You cannot. Julian Champagny again going scoreless in the second half. They blew the lead. They were just jacking up 3 after 3 after 3. In fact, I went back and counted. They attempted 9 threes in a row. You know how many of them they hit? Nada. 0. Zilch. Zip. Nothing. They missed 9 in a row in the third quarter. I don't know why you're still taking them. You got a 7'5" guy. Let me continue. When the game got close, Wemby had a huge shot. Castle was huge down the line. Huge. Hitting free throw after free throw after free throw. What'd he go? 8 for 8 from the free throw line? I got to check. He went 8 for 8. And you know what? I talked about this exact scenario in the watch party last night. I said, man, if that was me at that free throw line in Madison Square Garden, and I got to hit 2 free throws, the 2 biggest free throws of my career, the biggest moment of my life. Bro, in my rec league, in my adult men's rec league, I had 2 free throws. We were down by 15 in the first half. Bro, my heart was beating out of my chest. I airballed the first free throw and I made the second. But my heart was throbbing. It was my first free throws of the entire season. I airballed the first. No pressure at all. Made the second. We were down 15 in the first half. Didn't matter. Could you imagine that kind of a game in Madison Square Garden to hit those free throws? Incredible work by Stephon Castle. Unfortunately for him, Victor Wembanyama stepped to the line and missed both of them. And of course, I've talked extensively about the De'Aaron Fox hiccup, where he should have dribbled the clock down, shouldn't have taken that layup on OG Anunoby. And if you guys watch the presser, the post-game interview, they asked him, what was going through your mind when you took that layup? He said, I thought I'd get it up in time. Brody, in case you guys don't know, I am Eskimo brothers with OG Anunoby. I am, we are. That's a fun little fact I always talk about. Sorry, did I say OG Anunoby? With De'Aaron Fox? My apologies. I am Eskimo brothers with De'Aaron Fox, in case you guys don't know. And that's something that I've always talked about. It's something I always, gas myself up with. The issue is, that's about the highest I praise De'Aaron Fox, right? And most of that praise comes from me, not him. De'Aaron Fox, when he forced his trade to San Antonio, I wasn't making basketball content at that point. I was still a gaming creator. But I was watching and I told all my boys, wow, what a horrible trade. What a horrible trade. I don't like that. They're trying to expedite it, and that's fine. I said De'Aaron Fox will be a good bridge to the next PG. And then lo and behold, oh my God, they get the 2nd overall pick. Thank you, Adam Silver. So of course, they don't need another point guard, but they say, hey man, at the end of the day in the draft, sometimes you just got to take the best player. And they took the best player in Dylan Harper. And Dylan Harper has only gotten better throughout this year. He's only gotten better. Dylan Harper off the bench, 21 points, 8 for 12 from the field. He hit 3 out of his 6 threes. He was ready for the moment. Unbelievable. He's mini Cade. Literally mini Cade. He's so fucking good at basketball. He's so good at basketball. I can watch Dylan Harper play basketball every day. He's so good. And shout out my Knicks fans in my Twitch chat. They are literally all gassing up Dylan Harper because he's that much fun to watch. It's hard to hate him, even when you're rooting against him, like for Knicks fans, that is. Now, they picked Dylan Harper. And then immediately everybody started saying, Trade Fox, trade Fox, trade Fox. And I was telling everybody, listen, y'all, you got to run Fox this year. You can't just trade him. Let him learn off the bench and let him develop. And it's worked. He's developed and he's great and he's better than De'Aaron Fox. In fact, I'm going so far as to say, and y'all can take this shit to the bank, bro. I'm taking current rookie Dylan Harper over prime De'Aaron Fox. Because prime De'Aaron Fox still wasn't even the number one option on the Sacramento Kings, bro. You can leave the Sacramento Kings, but the Sacramento Kings will never leave you. I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'll say it again a year from now. De'Aaron Fox, like I said, I'm not going to pin this on one guy. But De'Aaron, bro, are you going to do anything this series? Are you going to do anything, bro? 4 turnovers, 6 for 16. I mean, hell, bro. Let's just go ahead. Let's go ahead because I'm very curious. I am very, very curious. De'Aaron Fox last 4 games. He's averaging 14 points and 6 assists, and his splits are 38% from the field, 30% from 3, averaging 3.5 turnovers. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. Absolutely atrocious. So after all of this, man, all I have to say is I'm not blaming one guy. Wemby, he missed 2 free throws. It might be a little bit recency bias. It might be. Shout out TikTok. It might be. Thank you for holding me accountable. It might be a little bit recency bias, but I've personally never been a fan of De'Aaron Fox. I've never personally been a fan of his basketball play style. And especially this year, did not deserve an injury replacement spot on the All-Star game. He didn't. And overall, what I could say about this game is you can sit here and blame Wemby for missing 2 free throws. You can. You could sit here and blame Fox for that horrible brain fart. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just Wemby. It wasn't just Fox that sold this game away. It was the entire San Antonio Spurs team, bro. From Keldon Johnson to De'Aaron Fox to Victor Wembanyama to everybody. They did this, man. They did this. Champagnie doing what he's done all finals, not scoring in the second half. He just can't do it. He just can't do it. And honestly, it's just so much fun to watch. It's so much fun to watch, like a comeback in motion, you know? And watching every bucket, watching every stop. I'm giving credit to the Knicks defense. You guys want to sit here and say, the Knicks had it. All they had to do was stop spamming threes. No, man. Did y'all see the defense adjustment from the New York Knicks? Did y'all see it? I saw it. Did you see it? The New York Knicks weren't allowing them to drive. The New York Knicks weren't allowing Wemby. Bro, there were 6 plays in a row. 6 plays in a row, dog, that I saw them throw alley-oops to Victor Wembanyama. 6 in a row. 6 in a row. What are we doing? You took 6 alley-oops in a row. And then on top of that, you threw up 9 threes straight. 9 threes straight. They shot 8 for 39 in the second half. Just fuck it. Excuse my French. They shot 8 for 40 in the second half. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Somebody in the TikTok named JT is saying, stop the glaze. They choked bad. Yo, JT, do you have brain damage, Brody? You got brain damage? I just gassed the Knicks up and gave the Knicks credit for 35 minutes of this podcast. And you're telling me I'm glazing the Spurs? Hey, TikTok, there's 270 of y'all, bruh. Bye. We're live on Twitch. Don't care. 270 of y'all over there on TikTok. I'm ending the TikTok. If you guys want more of this stream, because I'm about to get banned, bruh. I'm about to get banned on TikTok for what I'm about to say to that dumb fuck. We're live on Twitch. Jay-Z Uncut. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row on Twitch, I will personally gift you $6 so you no longer get ads over here. Bye, TikTok. We're live on Twitch. Idiots. Okay. I'm baiting them, but yeah, that I did just end it with 270 people in there. I won't be starting it back up. Whew. The Knicks fans went from crying about officiating, crying about rigging, crying about Adam Silver rigging this series for the Spurs comeback for the entire first half. Where Knicks fans were crying. Knicks fans were saying, I can't believe what I'm watching. The NBA is rigged. All of it. All of it. All of it. They were complaining about all of it in the first half. And then what happened? Refs aren't a problem anymore. Right, Anthony? Right, Based? Right, Lambie? Refs ain't a problem anymore. No, it's not. It's not rigged now because it's in your favor. It's not rigged now. It's only rigged when the Knicks lose. It's only rigged when the Knicks lose. So shout out to the Knicks fans that were complaining about refs and that the NBA was rigged. You guys are right. That shit might be rigged, bro, because this script was unbelievable. If there was any script, this was the script. If there was any script in this entire NBA season, that right there is the script. Sharkman Dave, you got to watch 3 Twitch streams in a row to get a sub from me, my boy. Why would I gift you a sub now? There's no reason I'd gift you a sub. Who are you? You got to watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, my boy. Thank you for the follow. Be sure to join the Discord. Marcus, thank you for the follow as well. Norby, Hank, thank you for the follow on Twitch as well, bro. Appreciate you guys. Be sure to watch your first 3 Twitch streams in a row, and I will personally gift you a $6 subscription. And chat, I gotta say it. That's all I can talk about this game. It's been 41 minutes. I guess the last thing I can say is, and after all that, OG Anunoby gets my stud of the night. Shouldn't go to anybody else. Obviously, Jalen Brunson deserves his flowers. The shots he was hitting at the end of the game, I thought every single one would drop. But I'm giving it to OG Anunoby. How can you not give it to OG Anunoby? In 41 minutes, he had 33 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, -1. That's why I always tell you, plus minus lies sometimes. 10 for 15 from the field. 7 for 9 for 3. Obviously, the most threes any Knick has ever hit in the NBA Finals because they weren't taking threes in 1973. The only 3 in 1973 was the end of that year. And 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Ladies and gentlemen, he had 93.5% true shooting. And as we all know, he had the photo, not just of the night, but of the entire Knicks history. What a photo. OG Anunoby. Imagine he dunked this. I think it's a little bit more beautiful that he didn't dunk it. Sweet and smooth, man. Beautiful. And ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I have about this game. That's all I have. I never thought that the guy who started this podcast at the beginning of this season would be able to talk for 45 minutes about one game. Never thought that. I'd like to give myself credit. I'd like to give you guys all credit for giving me talking points throughout the podcast. I think my podcast is very different for other people. Most people, they have other guys to bounce off of, and I bounce off of chat. Don't pause on that either. I'd bounce off on a lot of you guys. It's Pride Month after all. I think with how interactive our pods are, it makes for a better episode. Sometimes worse when it comes to TikTok. But, ladies and gentlemen, last night we witnessed not just the greatest playoff comeback in NBA playoff history. We witnessed the greatest comeback in NBA history. And I won't be told otherwise. Analytically, sure, it's not the greatest comeback in NBA history. But technically, none of them have been done on a bigger stage, in a bigger game, in a bigger moment. and a bigger crowd. The New York Knicks take the 3-1 lead, and only one team has ever come back. Spurs fans, I don't see 2016 LeBron James walking through that door. I don't. Twitch chat, be sure to stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree on one thing. If you stayed up and watched this game, we're going to be talking about this one for a long, long time. Long, long time. And we're going to be talking about this team for a long, long time. The 26 Knicks. It's got a great ring to it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review if you're watching on Spotify, Apple. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, all that jazz. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are watching on the Twitch, be sure to stick around. I got nothing left to say except for Game 5 is this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be holding a watch party. Okay, so if you guys want to watch this game with us, be sure to join our Discord server. If you want to get more connected with other basketball knowers, if you want to get more connected with friends, if you want to make more friends in this world, be sure to join our Discord. We will be live. So no, we won't be live Sunday morning, unfortunately. So last episode of the week is tomorrow, Friday. We're going to be previewing Game 5. We're going to make my predictions. We're going to talk about all that jazz. And then I won't see y'all until Monday morning because unfortunately I got to go to church because we have to technically be a part of this parish so that I can get $2,000 discounted on a church wedding. Church is a fucking scam, bro. I'm sorry. If y'all go to church, bro, they just want your money. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching / listening. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Love y'all.